Hello everyone, welcome to my Devlog part 3. Before we begin, I would just like to clear it up that this time I did not write down a script for my devlog or anything of such sort. Usually I do that so that I'm much more pre-planned. I know what I'm talking about and I can stick to it. I usually like don't do it, but for devlogs, I always thought that it would be a good idea to do something like that. So I wouldn't end up saying, you know, I wouldn't have breaks when I'm talking like this. Moments where I am in the middle of nowhere thinking about what I'm saying and stuff. But I just wanted to try out this more natural flow of making a devlog because I've recently been looking at different devlogs by different developers to study them and to just see how people are doing them. And I realized that the one thing in common of making one thing which is common is a lot of people don't script this stuff. And I maybe they do, maybe they do it without having breaks, or maybe they do it without having these um, you know moments where they sound like a robot or some shit. But I think this is just the way I would do it, is just do it naturally, just speak like I'm doing right now. Um, so yeah, I would just like to say that before I start this, I want to know what you think about this. Do you think I should do this for my future devlogs, or if I should go back to probably writing them and then going ahead and just reading them out? And if you think if I should do that, then what kind of a style do you think I should choose? Because it's difficult to stick to a style, and I need to be consistent. And I think the better way of being consistent is by being myself, is by being more natural. And if I'm trying to put on a theme and try to be consistent with it, it's much more difficult for me because I would have to go back to the same theme. But yeah, I'm just gonna do this, so this way I know that I'm gonna be more consistent. But if you think I should not do this and go for that, then let me know, and I will probably go back to that. Also, if you do not know, I do have a Discord server where I've been posting updates about my game. Um, if you join in the server, you'll also probably get access to stuff which I've been planning for. And yeah, we have a devlogs channel. I mean, I have a devlogs channel where I post updates and how changes have been taking place and everything. So right now, everything you're gonna be seeing in this video is gonna be a collection of that, but in the form of a video, and everything will be together. Also, if you join that server, you can actually give me suggestions on what you want me to implement in the game. I love receiving input on my game. I love taking some sort of opinion, so that way I know what players want from my game, what do they expect, and stuff like that, basically. So yeah, make sure that if you're interested in the development and you want to stay tuned with that stuff, you join the Discord server. I'll leave a link to the I'll leave an invite link in the description so you can do that. So the one main thing which I achieved since my last devlog release was getting a database, getting a playfab database, which is free, and it supports up to 100k players in its free stage, which is really good. I can store players data online, I can make API calls, and I can have a lot of things going on perfectly in my game, which is also everything, all the data is secure, and yeah, it's just really good. And it's it's the right way of doing stuff in a multiplayer game, basically. And the next thing which I got done was I fixed the gun for the third person meshes, or basically the body of the character. Before, the guns were up in the air flying, they wouldn't attach to the body's actual arms and stuff, but now this has been fixed, and which is actually really good. And then I also got a few different animations. So what I did was, before the since I had only one animation when the character would sprint or run, I changed this. I made it says that the character now has a different animation, and this is only there for some particular guns. So, which is really good. Basically, there's a little bit of a variation when it comes to how characters would handle weapons, I guess. Then I also did was before guns, when they would have vertical grips, the character would still hold the gun, like it's actually holding a gun without a grip, right? And that would basically kill the visual part of having a vertical grip. So then I made this small change where the character can actually hold the gun like it's holding the gun from the grip. It kind of gave a tactical view to my game, I guess, in certain ways, because if your movement is slow and you're crouching and stuff like that, then it makes it look like you're actually, playing like Siege or something. But yeah, it's actually really good for the visual part that has been fixed and stuff. So yeah. So another thing I added was a ranking system. Now this ranking system works with the level of your player in your game. So currently there are 5 ranks in the game, and I haven't decided upon how I would implement this ranking system. I'm thinking of giving different kinds of abilities or advantages to the players if they level up, and yeah, it hasn't been decided yet, but I will give you a screenshot. I'll put up a screenshot of what I have written about this in my server, and what I'm thinking about this, and you can pause it and read it or something like that. So this is not something which is final, or it's highly subject to change. Other than that, I've even added is bullet visuals. So before, my bullets actually didn't take any time to travel. They were hit scan weapons, and if you don't know what hit scan weapons is, it basically means that a ray is left from the camera of the player in the middle of the screen, and the ray doesn't take any time to travel. It doesn't even take like a 1 second or something. It just literally there's just a ray that passes out, and whatever it hits is basically hit. And this kind of it's easier to implement. It's really easy to implement, but then this kind of kills off the immersion that I can probably add, or the flexibility I should probably have with my bullets, such as higher bullet drop, higher time travel, or stuff like that. Bullet doesn't take any time to travel or stuff like that. There's no need of prediction in such cases. But yeah, so what I did was I actually added a system where an actual object is being spawned, and this way bullets actually take some time to travel. They actually have some gravity, and the bullets also have some form of visuals. And not only did I add this visual to the bullet, where you can actually see how the bullet looks, and you can actually see the bullet coming towards you, but I also did was I added bullet flyby sounds. So if the bullet doesn't hit you, but it kind of goes to your sides or something, then you can actually hear the bullet's air absorption, or you can hear the bullet just kind of cutting through the air and stuff like that. I think this kind of adds to the realism. It's a small detail. It's not something huge, but I think it just adds a lot of immersion to the game, where even if you don't know that you're getting shot from some side, you can kind of just know that you're kind of taking fire and stuff like that. It adds a little bit of the suppressive side of the game, suppressive fire side of the game, I guess. But yeah. So right after all of that, I made a few backend changes. There are a lot of boring changes that I made, which I can't talk about because it's just there's a lot of stuff that happened, and stuff like adding small sounds to movement, such as when I aim, I can hear the suit of my character kind of being folded or stuff like that. And to make stuff like this, I had to gather sounds of I had to just get different sounds and edit them to my liking. Like for making the sound of like the suit kind of folding, I had to use the sound of a bandage being applied to a soldier, and then I edited it and I got that. And yeah, there's just a bunch of other stuff. And then what I did was um, I also made my own reloading animations. Now, I have never made animations before. I have zero experience with animations. Like, editing them a little bit, yeah, sure, and yeah. But for reloading animations and stuff, well, I had no idea. So I found a program called as Cascadeur, and I used it to um, make my own reloading animations, and I think they turned out pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It looks a little bit it looks normal. There's nothing too special about it. There's not too much detail to be observed, but then I like it how it is, because uh my skill, I think it's just good like where it is at the moment. And then yeah, I implemented them as well. um and yeah, after I implemented reloading animations, after I was done making a reloading animations for all the guns in my game, I actually made a small demo. Now this demo was for testing purposes. I had a small event in my college and I had to get this one out to see how it works, and there were a bunch of different errors in that, especially with my aiming system and stuff like that. But that got fixed, so that's really good, because my aiming system was being calculated using the sights and the bones, and the system was actually developed by someone else, and uh, they were really kind with helping me out through setting this stuff together and stuff. And yeah, after I was done with fixing that system with all the sites and everything, I added overhead names and markers for teammates, so you know where your teammates are and you know what their names are and stuff, which is, I think, which I think almost every game can use. Then I also did was all the capture points which didn't show the area. I like what area you have to be in to capture that point. Yeah, that kind of got shown and stuff as well. It's a little immersive area. And then I also added, now if you have played Battlefield 1 or 5 or I don't know what, but you have this really satisfying sound and notification when you kill someone with their name and the points and stuff. So I kind of really like that, and I added the same thing in my game with sound, which I think is kind of satisfying. I don't know about it. I'll see about the sound later on, but I kind of added my own thing. So yeah. So yeah, right after that, what I did was I made parallax sights. So the material for my glass, or the reticle of my scope, was a bit weird looking before. It would basically be, the reticle would be stuck to the glass of the sight or the scope, and that isn't realistic. Realistic sights actually have depth. They actually project the reticle on the screen, on the glass. And yeah, so what I did was I made that, and it looks a lot much better now. It looks really clean. It just, yeah, looks a lot better. And then what I did was I made materials for my scope. So to add a little bit of color to my game and just to add a little bit of aesthetics, what I did was I made this vinyl kind of looking material for my scope. It looks really good. I can have different colors to different scopes, really reflective surfaces. I mean, when you do not aim down your sight, or when you do not actually scope in, we have this material on the glass of the scope. And I'm talking about actual scopes, not just like any sight, not like a holographic or a reflex, but like a actual sniper kind of scope thingy. And this would not just be one color, but it would be a gradiented color, and that way it would look really cool. Like I could have a vaporwave looking scope, and just really good looking, reflective materials. It adds a little bit of color to the game. It adds a really good, yeah, just that. So yeah, after all of that, again, I fixed a bunch of errors, and yeah, just this is the little bit of stuff that I have done the past few whatever months, and I actually have a small demo ready. My first level is a little bit more playable and maybe a little bit more fixing, and I will have an actually playable demo for my game, which yeah, um I don't want to talk too much into that. I think I've already taken enough of your time. But for this devlog, this is what I wanted to talk about. And yeah, these are the changes that have taken place. And if you see, if you look at the HUD whilst I'm showing you the gameplay of my game as well, you can see there's a bunch of other changes that have taken place. You can see a clear, a few people and then the number. I will talk later about my game mode. I don't think it's the right time to talk about my game mode just yet because things have to still be completed, and once that is done, I can actually talk about them. And of course, you have seen uh, sent a troop that was running in the beginning, which is not shown in this video anywhere, or I haven't talked about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep it right there. I'm not gonna talk much about things right now. It's not that I don't want to talk about them, but I want to actually complete things before I talk about them. I want to actually implement them the right way where I'm satisfied with them, and then I'm gonna talk about them. So yeah, that is one thing I want to make sure you guys get to see is the uh, you know probable end result. It's probably that one place where I don't have to do much but just polish that thing, and then that's it. That's the end result. But yeah, that's it for the devlog. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, if you want to stay tuned, join the Discord server. Yeah, bye bye. Oh, yeah, and before I leave, I actually completely forgot. I drew a small animation showing how difficult it is to make a multiplayer game. I've been recently thinking about making one of those a day in the life of an indie game developer videos or something like that. But uh, we'll see about that later on. But this is a small animation I made to show you what it looks like to make a multiplayer game. I drew a blob which represents the developer and small blocks which represents different systems. And every time a developer wants to make a small change to a small system, basically the other systems collapse. And I don't know if this is the right way, if this is what happens with other developers as well, but this is what happened with me. So I'm just gonna put it out there, I guess.